Hello everyone, I'm Kevin Hand.
And I'm Cat 409.
I like how I was slowly growing into this voice as I was speaking.
I got rudely interrupted in the last video.
Yes, but anyways, we are back now as Mukuro's heart fills with joy. But I think you wanted to take this one, right? Or is this not the part yet?
That's not the part.
Okay.
We're gonna do a transition.
You just nod. Okay, after the transition, okay.
Yes.
For that reason, she strengthened the focus on her conversation with Junko, and that emotion began to gradually disappear. On this frigid battlefield, Mukuro continued her heated conversation. Endless rounds of despair fired from the school's turrets. But Mukuro's words were intercepted, every last violent shot that threatened to shatter her body and mind in half. She quickly realized that the Monokumas hadn't decreased in number at all, no matter how many she kept destroying. Not only that, she noticed that more Monokumas had been joining the fray until there were nearly 50 of them for Mukuro to fight. Mukuro's resolve wouldn't break so easily. As she continued to wield her power, her heart began to fill with something that was neither hope nor despair. She learned despair from being abandoned by Junko, and she learned hope from her acts of violence. For Mukuro had no interest in this world. This small space in front of the gate was a reflection of her life, a representation of her perfect world. This disappointing girl, filled with endless disappointment, who knew of no other way to live, continued her lonely dance. She surrendered herself to the rhythm of despair, and the accompanying music of hope. Diamond, not filled in diamond.
I like how you insist on reading that.
Yes. Computer's room, innermost area, Monokuma room.
This isn't like, I think this is from Junko's perspective, so I kind of wanted to read it.
Okay.
If that's alright.
Yeah, go nuts.
I don't know. You may stop me if I'm boring.
No, go ahead.
Okay. How much time had passed? The surveillance cameras at the gates were capturing the footage of countless Monokumas falling at the hands of a child who fought like a raging demon. The Monokumas bolstered their numbers, and now 100 of them were trying to sink their claws into Mukuro. Most of them were running on autopilot, reacting to her movements based on prior information they had received in advance. But despite standing before hundreds of mechanical adversaries, Mukuro's face showed no fear. She hadn't sustained a single injury, giving a presence that was nearly defying to behold. Though Sakura Ogami was powerful enough to injure her arm, Mukuro in her current state could potentially fight Sakura to a draw now without relying on firearms. She had complete control of the battlefield, summoning her surroundings as if they were a part of herself. She dodged attacks from the rear as though she had her eyes on the back of her head, and stabbed through Monokuma's weak points with her metal bar. No matter where the attacks came from, Mukuro deflected them all as if her skin were covered in the eyes. Describing her as an ultimate no longer did her justice. Mukuro had transcended all boundaries of humanity in becoming a pure killing machine. But despite that, even though she understood the ludicrous power her sister possessed, Junko was not afraid. She felt not one iota of fear. After all Junko can feel is a despair. She even started to admire her sister's attempt to fill her with despair. But that sentiment quickly filled Junko with an orgiastic ecstasy of despair. Junko knew. She knew that Mukuro was neither hope nor despair. She was just a phenomenon. A disappointing girl who no longer understood herself, who only knew how to be violent so she could believe in anymore. Mukuro had become
Junko's breaking down. Because your internet's being crappy again, but it's okay.
Yes. Oh my god. Mukuro had become the avatar of destruction beyond that of any military force. She couldn't even be considered a soldier anymore. She was a natural disaster, like a typhoon or like a tornado.
Wait, no, that was the whirlwind, excuse me.
She was now a fundamental force of the universe that only existed to bring despair to Junko. If the mastermind enjoyed watching her sister go all out, if Mukuro destroyed everything that ruined her life, Junko would still be comforted by despair. She could just go right ahead and overpower her. Load. Junko considered this for a few seconds until a familiar, hopeless habit reared its head. Her,
Oh, I think you're...
who had been grinning as she watched the screen.
Wait. Okay, after her habit, it cut you out completely.
Fun.
Okay.
Her habit of, getting so bored that it made her sick. The girl who had been gritting as she watched the screen now bore a look of calm stoicism, and she reached for the microphone and connected Monokuma's speakers. Mukuro was no longer human anymore, but Junko knew how to bring her back. It was a simple feeling, really, and with that hopeless feeling for Mukuro in mind, the mastermind said just one word.
This'll be in my voice, because... Mukuro! Diamond, not feeling Diamond?
Oh, no, I think Junko actually spoke with her actual voice.
Oh, okay. In front of the main entrance! Well, then you take it.
Mukuro!
That voice! It was calling her name. Instead of using Monokuma's voice filter, Junko's natural voice is coming out of a Monokuma unit. That's all it took. With one word, Mukuro Kusaba stopped being a force of nature and became a person again. Monokuma would not miss this opportunity. Which one? As if moving to the beat of Mukuro's shaking heart, a torrent of claws leapt to attack her. Mukuro thrust at her instincts and twisted her entire body to fend off the attacks, leaving her with only a few scrapes here and there. But the despair wasn't over yet. The ultimate despair didn't waste any time making her next move. I assume that's you still, or?
No.
Oh.
It's the terrific athlete.
Mukuro, watch out!
Huh?
As soon as Mukuro heard that voice, her mind went completely blank. There was no mistaking it. It was Mikoto's scream. The scream that had saved her from the spears of Gunye and changed her destiny.
No! That's wrong!
No, that's wrong!
It took her a tenth of a second to realize that voice was just a sound clip that Junko had replayed. But it was more than enough time to drag Mukuro, who had regained her humanity, into despair. Yeah, so much for rejecting it. Right when she recovered from her moment of shock, Monokuma appeared behind her with a roundhouse kick right to the temple. She twisted her head to roll with the blow, but at that moment, a different Monokuma attacked her from the opposite side with a headbutt. As soon as Mukuro dodged that attack, 3 Monokumas launched simultaneous drop kicks and knocked her to the ground. That's your ugh.
Ugh.
The fact that they weren't using their claws meant they weren't trying to kill Mukuro right away. Before she could stand up, dozens of Monokumas waiting for her on the floor climbed on top of Mukuro and pinned her limbs. Are they gonna explode now? One of the Monokumas waddled over to Mukuro as she lay face down on the floor. Just a typical Friday night. And laughed. Ah, pretty girl getting pinned by all these me's. I wonder if I should feel more excited about this. Now, who am I kidding? I'm not into this. Don't make that face. If I wanted to kill you, I'd just pump you full of bullets right now. I don't think the audience watching this on TV would like that ending very much. I need to make sure I do it the right way this time. That is you.
Oh, I did have a line?
What are you planning to do to me?
Oh. What are you planning to do to me?
Mukuro asked in her emotionless voice. Monokuma guffawed and answered. Guffawed is a great word. Guffawed is a great word.
Yes.
Nothing. I'm just gonna stick to the original plan and make you play the killing game at this school. I'll erase everyone's memories again, and I'll just make them redo the introduction at the entrance ceremony again. In typical Monokuma fashion, he leaned his face towards Mukuro. It'd be boring if we'd have to redo everything. Maybe this time, I'll have you participate as Mukuro Ikusaba. I'll take away even more of your memories like I did to that irritating detective girl. You'll just be a poor little girl with no memories at all. Monokuma talked and wiggled his body from side to side. The other Monokumas danced and twirled around. Amidst this fantastical scene, Monokuma continued to describe his this plan in a nonchalant manner. At first, you'll be a girl with amnesia and everyone will feel so sorry for you. But, as they unravel the mystery of this academy, they'll find out who you really are. Oh, it's exciting to think about how they treat you when that happens.
That actually sounds like a much more interesting AU.
Yes. Knowing you'll probably kill someone purely out on instinct. Maybe I should rethink my rules about self-defense.
You can't.
Her memories would be erased. There was nothing she could do about her classmates hating her. But losing even her childhood memories would mean her connection to Junko would also be severed. Even if Mukuro had no interest in the world, that was unbearable even for her. And that was a pun. I've heard of New Game Plus before, but I think this is the first time I'll get to see a New Game Minus. Should I tie her up just for fun? Or maybe I should make a game out of this even more masochistic. Forget hard mode, very hard mode, and inferno mode. You just want to skip to impossible mode? Maybe I'll erase your memories. I like how that didn't start with an opening quote. Maybe I'll erase your memories after I drag you on a motorcycle, pummel you with 1,000 baseballs, burn you at the stake, and crush you with an excavator. Mukuro knew what Monokuma was talking about. He was describing the tools they had prepared for the various executions they had planned for the students. Also, I like how only those are mentioned, even though they would probably have more planned.
Yes. Why did you not mention the beta ones from the art book? Well, maybe the art book wasn't out yet at this point.
Yeah. But, like, I like how they specifically mentioned the ones that happened. But, like...
Yes.
After everyone reintroduces themselves, they'll walk around the school grounds and find a flat-chested girl with amnesia. Okay, I guess that's a thing. Covered in bandages with Fenrir's tattoo on the right
Junko
hand.
has slightly bigger boobs than her, but it's Mukuro's certainly not flat-chested.
I never much paid attention, I'll have to admit.
Yeah, no, I'm the boob connoisseur between the two of us.
Somehow. I bet a certain fan base might get off on that.
Can't agree. Econ is best wife.
Oh. If this were a game, that would increase sales by 500%. The Monokuma sounded like he was joking. Everything he said was deadly serious. As evidence, Mukuro heard a rumbling sound off in the distance. Now then, your sweet ride, it's on its way! Based on the engine noise, Mukuro surmised that it was a large motorcycle that was supposed to be used for one of the executions. I took the time to bring this all the way from the punishment room, so you better be grateful. The sound of the roaring engine grew louder and louder, like the approaching footsteps of death. Mukuro wondered how Monokuma would drive it with such tiny arms and legs, but then she remembered she was dealing with an ultimate despair. Junko would make the impossible possible, just to bring about despair. Despair that went hand in hand with Mukuro's fate.
Did I fail? I couldn't fill Junko with despair? I couldn't save Makoto and the others?
Questions raised through Mukuro's mind, but she wasn't able to answer them. There was no way she could have answered them so easily. After all, she was still alive. The sound of the motorcycle grew closer and closer as it was threatening to break Mukuro's spirit. Suddenly, Monokuma stopped moving. The other Monokumas continued doing their automatic movements. As the strange event unfolded, Mukuro noticed something. The motorcycle had suddenly gone quiet, and after a few seconds, the engine exploded to life and began to approach even faster than before. Only a few seconds later, what appeared in front of the main entrance was an enormous motorcycle that plowed through groups of Monokumas like a predator hunting its prey. The rider of this motorcycle was none other than Mondo Owada. I like how Mondo pulls the big damn heroes.
Yes.
Mukuro and Monokuma were both visibly shocked by this turn of events. Instead of addressing them, Mondo accelerated the motorcycle he stole from Monokuma directly towards Mukuro. Just before the front tire touched Mukuro, he popped a reverse wheelie and turned the entire motorcycle around. The back wheel swept over Mukuro's back and knocking away all the Monokumas that were pinning her. Hey, can you, like, stand or something? Mondo asks, and
I guess the
begrudgingly
writer's favorite case is the second one.
offered his hand to Mukuro. Also, I fully support more Mondo, by the way, because he is one of my favorite
I'm not saying
characters.
it's a bad thing. Yes, he was in your top 10.
Yes. Confused, Mukuro took his hand and stood up.
Oh, I have a line.
Yes. I know any excuse to bust out this voice I'm totally fine with, man.
Oh no, that's Monokuma's line.
What are you doing, Mondo? I was so close! One of the Monokumas protested. Not his normal voice, but as he hackled Bashiki Madurai. Oh god, what was that voice?
It was just Junko and Monokuma at the same time.
What are you doing, Mondo? I was so close! One of the Monokumas protested, not in his normal voice, but as a hacker Bashiki Madurai. Oh, yeah, you're, Bashiki or whatever, right? That's right! Why are you helping a terrorist? I'm bragging about this or anything, but, I have no clue if this girl or you is lying. The veins of the temple began to bulge and his cheek flushed with anger as Mondo said, "But still, I ain't the type to just sit around while some idiot gangs up on a girl! What are you saying? Get a hold of yourself! You must be experiencing Stockholm Syndrome! You've deluded yourself into thinking you're friends with the criminal who's taking you hostage!" Monokuma tried to explain to Mondo, but he ignored him and took Mukuro's hand and pulled her onto the back of the motorcycle. "Oh, shut the fuck up, man! I don't know nothing about some Stockholms or syndromes. Don't go acting like you can boss me around." I like how that line there is such a strong bad thing to say to corrupt those things. As Mondo shouted, he revved the motorcycle.
Just made my life.
Yes, as if he was using it to punctuate his words. The ceiling-mounted turrets began moving, but the two disappeared before the turrets could take aim at the motorcycle. As they zoomed through the hallway, countless Monokumas chased after them, waving their claws wildly through the air.
Why?
Asked Mukuro. "Huh?" shouted Mondo. His voice was even louder than the sound of the engine. "Don't get the wrong idea! I don't trust you at all!" His lowered voice lowered his voice slightly, as if he were whispering to himself. "But still, I don't know why, but, I think I could trust what he said."
Because, you know, he's
Homestar! Be quiet, Mukuro. There was no time for questions. Unit leading the Monokumas chasing after the motorcycle that was caught up to them. And then, like the enormous mobs and fearsome creature, they brandished their claws in perfect unison. At that moment, the motorcycle zoomed by a certain girl. The girl whose fighting ability surpasses that of any normal human. The strongest girl on Earth. With a fighting spirit that defied comprehension, the ultimate martial artist kicked off the floor. A sound even louder than the motorcycle's engine filled the room. Mukuro looked back. She saw Sakura landing on the floor and sending a pack of Monokumas flying several meters away.
Sakura?
She heard Mukuro mumble a name. Sakura didn't acknowledge it. Like a statue of a fearsome god king, she calmed the breathing and stood before the pack of Monokumas ready for battle. "Your pursuit methods seem unbecoming for one who claims to be the ultimate hacker." An overpowering aura seeped from her skin, and her skin shimmered in an intense heat began to fill the hallway. Like the power of Mukuro's sheer violence, this was the power of martial arts. Mikuro froze the air around her, and time along with it. But Sakura was generating enough heat to boil space itself as she stood before the Monokumas. With that heat stinging her back, Mikuro looked ahead. Ifumi and Chihiro were cautiously peeking from behind the door leading to the dorms, while Hina and Taka kept watch from inside the building. The passing by them, Mondo slowed down the motorcycle as he reached the front of the cafeteria and turned to a complete stop. The other student looked warily at Mikuro. But among those students, Mikuro noticed two people who weren't regarding her with suspicion. One was Kyoko, who seemed to be studying the situation. The other one was a skinny boy who was leaning against Kyoko's shoulder.
Makoto?
Mikuro's lips began to tremble as she sat on the back of the motorcycle. Ignoring the pain coursing through his body, Makoto smiled at Mikuro and repeated what he said to her earlier.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're safe, Mukuro.
Unfortunately, Mikuro was unable to realize her hope of filling her little sister with despair. Instead, she had successfully planted the seeds of hope into her fellow students. Diamond not filled.
Alright, this is the last chapter from my understanding.
Okay. Well, we're only 20 minutes in, so we might as well keep going.
Yeah, this is the last chapter. I lied.
Yeah. Makoto had barely regained consciousness while Mukuro was fighting the horde of Monokumas at the main entrance. When he woke up, he did something extremely simple. He talked about his memories. Most of the students were still skeptical even after listening to Mukuro's confession on Chihiro's laptop. Obviously, they were not still entirely convinced when Makoto first woke up, but... Also, wait. I just realized.
What?
What laptop?
The one from the library.
Which they haven't gone to yet.
Oh, whatever.
Unless she did have a laptop. I don't know. But obviously they were not entirely convinced at first when Makoto woke up, but after Sakura asked him a certain question, the ambiance completely changed.
Then, beyond the walls of this school, the world's completely destroyed? You're saying there's no one else alive?
Makoto slowly sat up to answer Sakura's meek question. Sakura isn't meek about anything, I don't think, but alright.
Don't worry. I'm sure Kenichiro,
Because they added a letter for some reason.
Hero?
Yes.
Yes.
Also, I'm pretty sure it was an S, not a C, but
Yes.
is still safe. I'm sure he'll keep his promise to you.
Kanshiro's the only man she couldn't defeat. A man who promised her a rematch and made one other promise as well.
How do you know that name, and how do you know about that promise?
Because you told me. No,
Makoto slowly corrected himself.
you told all of us.
Sakura was silent after hearing those words, but she then faced the other students and spoke in a loud, clear voice.
I'm going to trust Makoto.
Sakura?
Though Hina was shocked, Sakura continued to speak with determination.
What Makoto just said is something I kept locked away inside my memories. In fact, I was planning to keep that a secret until the day I died. But if I had shared that secret, that means there was once a strong bond between Makoto, myself, and with my fellow students as well.
Makoto continued to talk in a gentle voice. Though it couldn't have been good for his health, he continued to slowly talk about his memories and the other students no longer had.
What do you know about the story I'm planning to write? Are you a specialist Nen user who can predict the future?
Oh, lol. Oops! That was the wrong voice! What do you know about the story I'm planning to write? Are you a specialist
Nen
user
wait, what
who
the
can
fuck?
predict the
Okay, no.
future?
I read that as you
No, I get exactly why you thought so.
You had me and Hifumi help you. That was the way I read that.
Okay. You already finished that story, Yafumi. You had me help you with inking.
What? Wait a sec. How do you know I extorted money from that girl related to the Kuzuryu clan?
Oh, alright then.
By the way, that's okay. So in the first game, he mentions that he owes a mob family money,
Oh,
a girl
okay.
specifically, and people theorize, or it is canon, that he's talking about Boss Baby's sister.
Amazing.
Well, I mean, since you said she's dead now, then I guess it means I don't really owe anybody money anymore. I guess I'm free now!
Because you even tried to sell my organs to them.
His wounds were excruciating. Not the ones from earlier, just the ones from Hero stealing his organs.
Yes.
But even so, Makoto kept smiling and talking about their lives together. So it wasn't his duty to do so now that he had regained his memory. So the students listened to him, they slowly began to realize something. The vivid accounts he was providing couldn't be explained as just passing knowledge. Clearly some kind of bond between them all had been erased. Only Byakuya remained cynical.
There's no way I would have come closer to any of you. It's likely that you're all secretly working together.
Though Byakuya was still hostile toward Makoto's recollection of their memories. For the time being, he determined that Makoto wasn't actually a terrorist.
Because he's plain too stupid to be one. Most likely.
Mukuro had bought enough time for Makoto to wake up and share his memories with the others. Even if she hadn't intended to do that. It was a small sliver of hope that she had grasped tightly. Oh, excuse me, hope. She had really grasped tightly. Diamond, not fielding diamond. Every time. And now, as she looked at the boy who smiled at her, Mukuro didn't know what to say. She couldn't think of anything to say at all. The battle was over, and Mukuro was now back to being a disappointing girl. She turned away from everyone's faces and apologetically climbed off the back of the motorcycle. Also, I didn't make a Mukuro on motorcycles joke. So there you go, for all of you who are waiting for me to do that. Which I know there might be one person who was, so there you go. Well, Makoto saw her and slowly opened his mouth to say,
Thank you, Wukolo. No comma. You saved my life.
Makoto gave her words of sincere gratitude between his weak breaths. Mukuro couldn't bring herself to look at him as she mumbled to herself,
Why?
Huh?
If Kyoko told you, then you already know what I did, right?
As regaining his memories and learning the truth, Mukuro should have been nothing but a hated traitor to him. Why would he smile at someone like her? Mukuro kept her head down. Makoto smiled as if he was unsure how to respond and said,
Well, I mean, I guess you're right, but you also saved my life many times during these past 2 years, and
Makoto took a deep, quiet breath and smiled at Mukuro again.
you're my friend, and we'll spend time with each other. It'd be great if we could look for a different path.
Not the spell.
And if there's any way I can help you, I will.
Do you think I can walk another path at this point?
I don't know what you can do, or even what I could do, but I think it's more important to look for the path instead of actually finding it.
Was it intentional or a coincidence? Just before he regained his memories, Makoto had said something similar to Mukuro when she spoke to him in the nurse's office as Junko. Regardless of whether he lost his memories or regained them, those words revealed Makoto's true character. As Mukuro confirmed that to herself, Makoto blurted out something that was almost too trusting.
And it's not just you. Even Junko can.
He was immediately interrupted. Monakuma's face appeared in every monitor in the academy, and his laughter seemed to be coming out of every speaker. I could have kept pretending to be the ultimate hacker, but it's too boring to impersonate someone who doesn't even exist. If this keeps up, I'll lose my identity and turn into Konokuma! Kyoko looked up to the surveillance camera and addressed Monokuma directly.
You seem to give up pretty easily.
Well, there isn't a bear anywhere that gives up as easily as I do. Regardless, I'm pretty sure Chihiro has figured out my secret control of my control program by now.
So just as I thought, you included that program on purpose.
Kyoko realized something when Mukuro told her about Junko. For two reasons such a hateful person could intentionally leave such an obvious clue inside the Monokuma unit. Either Junko wanted the students to learn the truth about the outside world and themselves on their own, and turn their hopes into despair. Or she was looking to that clue, resulting in her own plan being undone, which would allow her to feel despair towards herself. She was an angel of everlasting darkness, delighting in her own despair and using it to spread despair and destruction to those around her. Or something like that continued to play the role of Monokuma. Actually, I set that program for Chihiro to discover if she happened to be one of the final 5 survivors. I feel so sad and empty that my preparation was a waste, but I'm going to think about it positively. Also, final 5 survivors is kind of specific.
No, she wanted this to keep going until they were all dead.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think, there weren't even... Like, I guess, by the end of the first game, like, assuming that Makoto had died, like planned, I guess there would have been 5 survivors, but that wasn't the plan. They weren't supposed to stay alive.
No, she wanted them all to die. All of them.
Yeah. So I don't know where that came from, but alright. But I'm going to think about it positively.
I guess that was just the writer's interpretation.
Oh, wait, actually... I do actually get... Actually, no, hold on. I guess... I don't know why it's specifically the final 5 survivors, but I actually do get... if Chihiro was the one who programmed Monokuma, everybody would be suspicious, so that would be another extra motive. So that actually does make sense. I just don't know... I just don't know why it would be the final 5 survivors.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why it's so specific about it, but it does vaguely make sense. The word retreat doesn't exist in Monokuma's dictionary, unless we're talking about, like, me taking a vacation, because, my god, I do need one at this point. Nervousness began to grip the students as Monokuma continued talking in its relaxing and uplifting voice. Now then, it looks like everyone's here, including Toko, who's still tied up in a room. Wait. Wait, what? Okay, it looks like everyone's here, including Toko, who's still tied up in a room. That means she isn't here if she's tied up in a room. Or if she's there, she's not tied up in a room.
Yes.
So, let's start the heart-throbbing, exciting special graduation exam! Ah! I'll just do that one, because he would be the loudest. The students broke out in a noisy confusion, but Monokuma ignored them and kept talking. Oh, don't think about it too hard. Relax, relax. Change relax to upert and... no, upert, for all I care. Also with the most adorable bear here. Byakuya, visibly annoyed with Monokuma's nonsensical rambling, shouted, I already know it's you, Junko. Stop this game and show yourself. Oh my. Don't you know? If you want to lure the mastermind out of a heavenly hidey hole, you need to bring a worthy sacrifice. You're not worthy enough at all. Do you really think that the mastermind would show herself for your pathetic hope and despair? He roared maniacally and then began to explain the special graduation exam. If you pass my exam, everyone will graduate, but if you fail, you'll be held back for the whole year. I'll reset your memories, give you each a fresh new lease on life, and you'll reintroduce yourself at the start of the school year again. Wait, hold on, is this just the second game's, like, end? They say people's lives don't come with reset buttons, but this is not most people. This is Monokuma. Whether it's soft resets or hard resets, I can do as I please. Hiro seemed confused, but the other students knew what Monokuma meant by reset. He was going to force them to relive their school lives once again. As Hiro struggled to understand, Taka pointed out to a nearby monitor and shouted, "Stop this over! What are you doing to us? We're never gonna battle! If that's what What was that?" Jumped Monokuma.
No, what was that? I couldn't understand a word he was saying.
Are you serious?
Of course! No one would make life for any reason!
Except, you know, the serial killer.
Yes.
Kind of forgot about that one, did you?
Well, I mean, Toko wouldn't kill anyone.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, despite her not killing anyone, the alternate personality still would, so that still
Like, why
technically
has she killed like
counts.
300 people or some crazy shit?
I don't know what the number was, but it was... No, it's safe to say the consideration for taking another human being's life is definitely there. As Taka shouted at one of the students... Oh, speaking of which, a pale-faced girl standing about from the others looked away. Unless it's Celeste. Oh, or no, it's... Okay. That's the last person I would describe as both of those things, but alright. Alright, that's not the one of the first two people I would go to. It was Sayaka. As she trembled, a voice popped up behind her.
That's Monokuma.
What do you think, Sayaka? She could even turn around from sheer terror, but Sayaka knew. She knew Monokuma was standing right behind her. Do you really think none of you will become a killer? Monokuma leaned towards Sayaka and asked her a question only she could hear. By the way, Sayaka, why did you go to Makoto's room and nothing strange had happened yet? Did you two have an inappropriate relationship? What would your fans think they found out? He made a move on a boy by sneaking into his room? Or were you there for some other reason? She could barely make a sound, much less a scream, as her trembling worsened. Monokuma had nothing to gain by cornering Sayaka and toying with her emotions like this. He simply thought it was fun, and wanted to see if the young singer would fall into despair over her true character. I like how now she's just like characterized as the one who is a killer.
Yes. Well, I mean, because we gotta make Mukuro look like the best love interest here.
This is true, but I like how she got kind of flanderized into being like that.
Because clearly, die for our ships.
Yes. Or rather, everybody else die for our ships. For that reason, Monokuma did not relent. Hey! What were you trying to do to your close friend you've known for the past 2 years? The determination from last night blended the memories of Makoto had recounted and ate away at Sayaka's mind like a disease. When began to rip itself apart, she fell to her knees. A clear ball flying at just under 105 miles per hour struck Monokuma in the mouth with enough force to sink into its face. The speaker of Monokuma's mouth was immediately destroyed and his body rolled into the wall and stopped moving. Sayaka came to her senses and looked where the ball came flying from. She saw Leon, breathing heavily as he stared intensely at Monokuma. Hiro grabbed him and yelled, "Huh! Dude! Why did you do that, Leon? The crystal ball is really valuable, not to mention really expensive." Leon had stolen Hiro's crystal ball and thrown it at Monokuma.
And Monokuma bastard was trying to take Sayaka hostage. What was I supposed to do?
Dude, that crystal ball cost me like $2 trillion. $2 trillion! They don't even print that much money anymore.
Oh, bullshit. Besides, the whole world's so screwed up. What the hell are you gonna need money for anyway? It's safe out there. I'll just join the major leagues or whatever and pay you back. Oh, well, I could pay you back doing something else besides baseball.
Thus they argued, Saika fell to her knees.
Hey!
Shouted Leon, running towards her.
Saika, are you okay?
She looked at him instead, blankly.
Leon.
She had made up her mind. She was keeping her baby. And she raised her head and said,
There's something I need to confess to you later.
What? Seriously?
Sorry. Also, I like my what there. That was an excellent noise I just made.
Yes.
It was an excellent noise that came from my mouth hole. Psycho was staring at Leon so intensely that he briefly forgot about the current situation.
Not just to you, but to Makoto and the others too.
Psycho had made up her mind to confess the sin that was weighing heavily on her heart, but Leon seemed to not hear the latter half of her remark. He ran back to the others, slapped Hifumi and Hiro on the backs and shouted,
Alright everyone, let's ace this exam or whatever and get out of here already. There's no way I'm gonna let my happy memories of this place get taken away.
Monokuma inside the monitor responded, Fine, fine. Now that things are finally coming to a boil, let's start the graduation exam. Sakura, then outside the dormitory, suddenly appeared with some information.
The Monokuma inside the hallway are acting peculiar.
The students all moved to the main building to see what Sakura was talking about. There they saw 50 Monokuma standing in 2 rows along the walls of the hallway, and one standing at the very end of the hall. There was something strange on top of this Monokuma's head. An enlarged version of the escape button that Makoto had obtained from the Mono machine. Each student took it in this sight, and an announcement rang throughout the school.
Ding dong! Bing bong!
The me at the end of the hall has a button on top of his hand that'll open the main entrance. You'll have 15 seconds to get that button, and if you do, I'll let you have it in place of a diploma. The student seemed surprised by the straightforward explanation. Only Celeste remained calm and asked Monokuma with a bored look on her face.
Of course! It's not just as simple as running up and taking it, is it?
How mean! Do I look at the kind of headmaster that would interfere with a student's graduation? Forget the gunfire salutes. I'm gonna set you and my graduates off with some fireworks. 100 fireworks to be exact, and offer 20 seconds of hardcore partying. To the more perceptive students, immediately realized what he was talking about. The bombs installed inside each Monokuma. They would explode one after the other, filling the hallway with fire as soon as the time started. After 15 seconds, the me standing at the back of the hall is gonna sacrifice himself to give you guys one final firework. By the way, this probably isn't very important, but that button isn't very durable. His graduation exam was Monokuma's way of saying that he had no intention of letting anyone leave. It was clear from the explosion the students saw during the entrance exam that the halls of Host Peak would be bathed in fire. If someone was lucky enough to survive the explosions, the burns in the body alone would be enough to send him into fatal shock. The lungs might be completely incinerated by the scorched air before that. Also, I'm getting the feeling that, Is Mukuro gonna just, like, sacrifice herself? Is that where we're going here? Because I don't know if that's what...
That's what I'm thinking, but
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
know how
thinking.
this ends.
I don't know how it ends. Obviously, I don't know how it ends either, but, like, that's the vibe that I'm getting from this.
That would be stupid. You wrote a whole AU about Mukuro living. That's what you sold. That's your selling point, and then she sacrifices herself at the end anyway.
But she dies a martyr, so I guess it's okay.
Yes.
And I guess that means that Makoto can be with somebody else, so much for all the random shipping with all the other characters. Anyways.
Yeah, that's right. Back off, bitch. He's mine.
What will you think, girlfriend?
The lungs might be completely incinerated by the scorched air before that. Even if they sacrifice one student to run through, the odds were low that they would even succeed. There's no reason for every student to run in one side though, and a shadow of despair fell upon their faces. Oh, yawn. Oh, this is so boring. Let's get on with it already. Nice. Oh, so very nice. I almost want to take a picture so I have those faces as a souvenir. As Monokuma laughed from behind the monitor, Sakura stepped forward.
I'll do it. I have only seen the explosion once, but I believe I'm capable of withstanding its power.
No!
Shouted Hina.
You can't. Even you couldn't handle 100 of those explosions.
Sakura shook her head.
I'm the only one who even has a chance.
Suddenly, Mondo remembered the motorcycle he parked inside the dormitory and said,
Hold up! That motorcycle might be fast enough to go through those explosions! I'll do it! Don't be hasty,
urged Sakura.
even if the motorcycle isn't harmed by the explosions. That doesn't mean its rider will be.
Also, I think the motorcycle would also kind of explode at that point, but... Sakura and the others continued the debate. One person stepped forward in the hallway lined with Monokuma's.
I'll do it.
Mukuo!
Screamed Makoto weakly. Makuro! With her...
Makuro! That's the ship name.
God damn it. With her face... With her back facing Mukoto... turned her head to the side slightly and gave him a small nod. She knew it would come to this. She knew why Monokuma would pose such an impossible exam. That's you, I think.
Oh, sorry. Junko is already looking forward to the next Despair game. She's going to erase everyone's memories, including mine. She wants to torment us and fill us with despair before that happens.
But Mukuro knew her sister's personality all too well, and that's why she was confident. She knew that the escape button was real. Whenever Junko brought despair to others, she already made sure there was a possibility that despair would befall her instead. If the students won this gamble and made it through this horrible situation, they would finally escape to the outside world.
Well, I mean, if it's a gamble we're supposed to do, shouldn't you be taking this one?
Yeah, I really don't think so. Also, shut up. Before I kill each and every boy.
That outcome would obviously fill Junko with immense despair. In the same way, she left a clue in Monokuma's control program. Junko could not be satisfied until she took her pains to assure her own destruction. This was the quality that made Junko the ultimate despair. That's why Mukuro was determined to do it. She knew she was the only person who stood a chance at making that outcome possible, even if she had to risk her life. But, right now, Makuro, not gonna get over that, wanted to live more than anything. She wanted to hold on to this world, a world she had no interest in previously. She didn't even know if this hesitation she felt was disappointing or not. But she wanted to live and continue searching for a new path. A path where she could abandon her submission to despair. Where she could accept the sins of the past and continue to live. Mukuro was known as the War Machine, found her heart beset by overwhelming fear and anxiety. Until now, it had never occurred to her that determination was necessary to live. As if she was brushing that fear aside, she quietly said,
Thank you, Makoto.
Unfortunately, the words she said to the boy who showed her new possibilities never reached his ears. Sakura, however, heard her and frowned as she said,
If you're planning to sacrifice yourself as an act of penance, I'll stop you with all of my power.
Though her words were firm, there was an unmistakable affection hiding in them. Both girls had dedicated their lives to battle, and yet Mukuro felt a twinge of jealousy towards Sakura for possessing something she lacked. Mukuro leaned towards Sakura and whispered in her ear. And suddenly they became the main the main pairing here.
I actually would enjoy that a lot.
What? Are you serious?
Sakura's frown intensified. Monokuma's voice blared through the halls. Alright,
Picture of Sakura intensified from the trial.
Yes. Alright, I'm going to start the exam now. Ready, set, go! There's no time for question or objections. The frontmost Monokuma exploded, sending a roaring wave of heat throughout the hall. Mukuro didn't look away. She began moving, powered by resolute determination. And 2 diamonds, one filled in, one not.
Monokuma room!
Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
As soon as the graduation exam started, the mastermind focused her control entirely on the Monokuma holding the escape button, and completely synchronized her field of vision with it. She knew what was going to happen next. She could predict with her sister, Makuro, would... Had to, I'm sorry. I'm lame.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's why I ended up being stupid.
It was a little bit, but it didn't cut out anything. It just cut out you laughing at yourself.
She could predict what her sister Mukuro would do in this exact situation, where she would choose to focus superhuman skill with her weaponry. And so, through Monokuma's eyes, she watched the scene unfold exactly how she had predicted. A pointed metal bar burst through the explosions, headed straight for the weak point of Monokuma holding the escape button. Specifically, it was aiming for the point where the bomb's detonation system and Monokuma's power source overlapped. It flew straight and true, as if it had been fired by a master archer. In order to bring despair to Monokuma, and by extension Junko as well, the super soldier known as Mukuro Ikusaba threw the pipe like a spear so it could attack the same weak point she had pierced in the nurse's office. As explosions filled the hallway until only fire remained visible, the spear's speed and precision as it soared through its target defied all human logic. But the mastermind, knew. She knew Mukuro had used her power to fill the world with despair. Power was all that disappointing girl had. That power was useless against Monokuma. The mastermind had predicted that Mukuro would put all her effort into that throw, and Monokuma caught the metal bar perfectly between his hands. The force of the throw knocked Monokuma back several yards, but the pointed end of the bar never pierced through his chest. Well, that was, disappointing. The mastermind turned to look at a different monitor. She wanted to see the look on Mukuro's face when she realized that she failed to strike Monokuma. The despair of seeing the final Monokuma explode right before her eyes, completely obliterating the escape button. She wanted to sear this memory of disappointing sister's final moments as her newfound hope sank into the dark pit of despair. On instinct, she turned her attention to the surveillance camera that hadn't been destroyed. But instead of seeing Mukuro and the others, she only saw Sakura, who looked as though she had finished launching an attack. She only thought it was strange.
Huh?
Huh? But then the hopelessly powerful mastermind completely understood the situation, and it shifted her point of view to Monokuma. But because of that single second, Junko would feel just a pang of despair.
Like a diamond and not filled in time.
You do it better than I do. I'm jealous.
I'm sorry. No, I like your voice better. Don't worry. No, yeah. I mean, it sounds better coming from you because for the simple fact that you're actually a girl.
That's true.
3 seconds left!
Amid the smoke, flames, and the heat encircling the hallway, it burst through with the speed of a cannon shell. It glared at Monokuma with hot, boiling eyes that betrayed the icy expression on his face, and then, sharply, swiftly, strongly, it transformed into a living weapon that cuts through everything, revealing its true form in the Hall of Despair. I definitely no clue what's going on in this scene. I think I fell asleep for a second, and now I don't know what's going on.
2 seconds left!
Monokuma was still holding the metal bar in his hands, tried to move, but at that exact moment, the living weapon carved a path through the flames and appeared before him. His body, which had never been wounded on the battlefield, was sustaining all manner of burns and injuries. But even so, it did not falter. The fire in its eyes never flickered once.
1 second left!
The living weapon, Mukuro, slammed a knee into the back of the metal bar Monokuma was holding. The sharp tip of that metal bar pierced through Monokuma like a real spike, shredding the detonator and its power source into pieces. Time's up! The 100 explosions ceased, and smoke blanketed the hallway. Mikura had divided into Monokuma, or had dived into Monokuma, and the pristine escape button now rested in her hand. She and the other students of Hope's Peak Academy had passed the graduation exam. It's only a small amount of despair. Monokuma had tasted it in only 3 seconds.
Oh, I think I know what happened.
Oh, yeah, I think...
She threw the spear as a distraction.
Yeah.
But then Sakura chucked her across the room, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I just like the way it was described was kind of weird, but yeah, I think that's what happened. Anyways, diamond and not filled in diamond. First floor, hallway.
Junko.
Mukuro looked down at Monokuma. He could no longer move or self-destruct. When she spoke to him, a static-filled voice emitted from his mouth, and it seemed his communication function still worked. I never expected you to do that. You still sound like Monokuma. It seems his voice modulated was unharmed as well. Okay, I guess, okay. I must have overestimated you. I never thought you need anybody's help on the battlefield. When I give the signal, please launch me forward with a roundhouse kick.
Oh, that's Mukuro. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Oh, wait, no, well, he...
Oh, he repeated that. I think that's what
so.
happened.
Whatever, doesn't matter.
Mukuro whispered these words to Sakura just before the explosion started. Mukuro threw the metal bar, she jumped into the air. The exact moment Sakura unleashed a roundhouse kick. Right when Sakura's foot made contact with her own, Mukuro used the force generated by her kick to propel herself with Monokuma. Used the ultimate martial artist superhuman attack like a springboard. She shot herself through the air like an artillery shell. Enduring intense heat, shrapnel, and blood-draining G-force, she stayed conscious as she charged through the hallway engulfed with explosions and despair. Mukuro trusted Junko. She trusted Junko to predict that she'd throw the metal bar and catch it accordingly. She tried to look at her face as the despair sets in. The Junko and Ashima she knew would definitely do that. Although Mukuro hadn't predicted that her sister would also try to kill her with the spheres of Gongyeo, she had the better understanding of her actions now. As Mukuro stared Monokuma in his face, all he could do was laugh scornfully. Oh, you put your life in someone else's hands for a deadly battle? Oh, I don't know how to feel about that. You'll always be a half-assed disappointment. I guess this is time I'll just say I lost because I don't see much disappointment coming. The end. The end. Mukuro shook her head at Monokuma.
No, you're wrong, Junko.
No, you're wrong! Oh, sorry, wasn't that not my line?
Huh?
If you want to talk about winning or losing, I think we lost before we even started.
Oh, no. Oh, really? Are you gonna pull war games on me? The only winning move is not to play. Yeah, okay, fine. Whatever. I don't need your ass. Mukuro's eyes shifted from side to side. Oh, I wasn't there yet. As if she was unsure of something, she fidgeted in place as she continued to talk.
No matter how much despair they felt, you didn't think they'd kill each other the way they were before. That's why you erased their memories. They aren't like the others you forced in the past. You knew these students would never do it. That's what you believed, isn't it?
What are you talking about?
So, it's okay, Junko. I'll bring back everyone's memories someday, and I'll show you everyone's happiness. Their bonds. I'll show that to you, and fill you with even more despair.
I like how, for the first time, Mukuro is actually sounding mechanically.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Mukuro nodded as she said this, as if to clear her sister up. After several seconds of silence, Monokuma responded. You finally beat me this one time, and that lame speech is the best you can do? You're such a disappointment. You never fill me with despair. It's just constant disappointment. After pouting like a sore loser, Monokuma continued to speak in his usual tone. But you guys will be back. And when that time comes, I'll invite you guys to a wonderful place. I found out about this fun island while I was running things here. Monaco's laughter filled the room before the static finally cut out and the remains fell silent. We wouldn't be talking again anytime soon, except now. And now. The mastermind was already preparing a new despair to bring to the world, and to the students of Hope Speak Academy, Junko included. In the end, the mastermind stayed in a Monokuma persona until the very end, and Junko Enoshima never showed her face again. It was as if she resented the despair Mukuro had given her. That thought almost filled Mukuro with despair. When she heard her classmates calling for her, she unsealed the despair in the depths of her heart. From now on, she would seal away all her despair. And one day, when she can give Junko the perfect despair, she will unleash all that despair she stored and plunge her sister into a dark abyss.
I won't leave my little sister alone.
In the end, that was the first hope. Hope. The disappointing older sister had felt since she was a child. Diamond, not filled in diamond.
Several hours later, main entrance.
Makoto.
Okay.
Mukuro, are you really going out wearing that wig?
Receiving a blood transfusion of the correct blood type, Makoto was beginning to show signs of recovering. Mukuro, holding a wig to the side of herself as Junko Enoshima, nodded.
If I live as Junko, I might be able to understand her. Like, or something.
Despite that, Mukuro's voice still sounded like her own, as she hadn't fully decided yet.
And I've
Also-
made up my mind. What?
You're keeping your baby?
No, I made that joke already. No, but I like how probably the only reason they did that is because this graphic does not include a version with Mukuro standing there.
Yes, that's the only reason they did that.
Yes.
You gotta work with what you gotta work with.
Yes.
While I'm out there, I've decided I'll accept everyone's hatred towards me, and toward Junko. I can't die until I've destroyed all the despair that Junko has spread.
The damage that the ultimate despair inflicted upon the world could not be measured in terms of money, culture, or even human life. Television broadcasts had already begun informing the people that Junko Enoshima and Mukuro Kasaba were the heart of ultimate despair, even though in the outside world, wouldn't everybody already kind of know that?
Yeah, everyone knows. That's definitely a thing everyone knows.
Among the survivors in the outside world, there are still people who hadn't been tainted by despair yet. Regardless of the fact that she released Makoto and the others, to these survivors, she was nothing more than the reason the world ended. And to the terrorists wearing Monokuma masks who continued to ravage the world, Mukuro was nothing but a traitor. She was now in a situation of being an enemy with most of humanity. Mukuro wasn't making a big deal out of it.
I'm going to try to not kill anyone that comes after me for revenge.
Wouldn't it be, like, safer just to turn yourself in? Man, am I a hypocrite in this.
A wanted hero.
That's still him.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you might just get executed instead, but you could live to be like an old lady if your trial keeps being pushed back.
Mukuro slowly shook her head at Hiro.
Laws, justice, those things no longer exist. That's still Hero.
Oh, okay. See, because with Stutter, I was like, okay, well, it's one of two characters probably, but yeah. Okay.
No, because it's still Hero.
Is it really bad out there? Is it really that bad out there? Maybe we should just stay here. I mean, we're doing pretty fine, right?
Yakuya glared at Hiro with contempt.
Ignorant idiot should just shut up. Your fate won't change whether or not you stay in here or not.
Though he was shocked to learn that the Dokami Corporation had been destroyed, Yakuya continued to remain firm and proud, even toward Mukuro.
You are a rare asset.
Continued Byakuya.
So I will let you live for now. Depending on your actions, I may consider forgiving your crimes after I've built a new world.
Earlier Takami would boast that they're capable of forgiving the crime of the ending world. Of ending the world. That's you, I think.
You don't need to do that. I don't plan on just surviving.
After turning away from Byakuya, Mukuro looked at the other students. Everyone was reacting in their own way. Kyoko had looked quiet of preparation. Toko, having just changed back from Genocide Jack, was panicked and confused, and...
I don't think this writer likes Toko very much, but
Yeah.
really likes Genocide Jack.
Yeah, that seems to be that way. Mukuro looked back on the 2 years she spent with them, and then turned to Makoto, who shared the same memories as her, and gave him the escape button.
Makoto, you press it.
Huh? Me?
I think it's better if you press it instead of me.
Why? Is it because we don't have any graphics of you pressing it?
As she watched, Makoto accepted the button with some hesitation. Mukuro thought about what Monokuma had said. You guys will be back. Mukuro knew that Monokuma was telling the truth. After all, the file the students needed to fully restore their lost memories remained hidden in the academy. Oh. Wait, is that a thing that actually is a thing? The research notes of Yasuke Matsuda.
Yasuke... Yeah, Yasuke Matsuda.
I beat you to the punch.
Yes.
The ultimate neurologist. His research is the key to restoring everyone's memories. Even if the students no longer have their memories, they may be able to repair the bonds they had built among themselves over the past 2 years. As long as their memories remain unrestored, the mastermind could still repeat her deadly plan. Although the island mentioned earlier sounded strange, the students could not turn their back on the despair facing them.
Then, let's go.
Makoto remembered everything that was happening in the outside world. The boy who had chosen to remain inside the academy 2 years ago was now choosing to leave. How much did he struggle to come to that decision? Not as much as he initially did, I'm sure. But he was determined to face despair awaiting him outside, and hid his internal conflict from the others. Protecting Makoto's hope, Mukuro would bring despair to her beloved sister. She no longer knew if the end result of her goal would lead to hope, or despair. She pulled a wig over her head and hid her face with her hands. Was she smiling because hope was waiting for her? Or was she crying because the path would lead to despair? She lowered her hands, her face was devoid of all emotion. Mukuro no longer knew what expression she should wear on her face. So I guess she's not wearing the face of despair anymore.
Wait, but if she's Junko, isn't she wearing the face of despair?
I guess so. Somebody page Zolman and ask him what face she's wearing now. At the same time, Makoto pressed the escape button. A siren began to wail as the turrets retracted into the ceiling. From beyond the heavy door, a bright light appeared. An infinite number of ifs, and the possibilities contained therein, encased the world. Accepting everyone, hope, despair, and even the feelings of that disappointing girl, Mukuro Ikusawa. It's a recycled cutscene! It's a recycled no, okay. Although we did actually already watch this one.
Yes.
Goodbye, despair! And I guess that's it. I mean, okay. There we go.
I like how they have the disclaimer of Danganronpa 0 when all of 1.5 characters was mentioned.
Amazing. I assume the neurologist is a character then?
Yeah, he's a real person.
Okay. Well, yeah, I figured.
And Shiki Masuda does not exist, but there is someone... The family name Matsuda is brought up.
Okay. Well, we'll
Or
get
not
to that.
Matsuda, Murai.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that later, because I think that's the next thing we're doing, since we're gonna put off the Monami mode for now. So,
Yes.
for now, we're gonna thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time when, I guess we'll just make it part of this playthrough, even though it's not.
Do you wanna, like, comments on the novel, or do you think we've already
Oh.
said what we thought of it?
Right, I forgot to give my thoughts. Oops.
Yes. Better give your thoughts, Kevin. The story was about a thought.
Lol. It was fine. See,
All women are thoughts. No, Byakuya! All women are queens!
God damn it. Well, that threw me off. Okay. Anyways. Anyways.
Funnier if you said it.
Yes. Maybe some other time.
I thought it was okay.
I thought it was fine. I will say though, I would have been a lot more interested to see like what would happen if like basically like going from here. Like what I had thought this story was gonna be was like basically what
Makoto gets the button, the door opens, and then
we see like all the characters being alive and doing shit and like dealing with everything.
I like how after Kyoko has her conversation with Mukuro, she drops out of the story. She doesn't even have a line anymore.
She has like one, I think.
She's
Maybe?
like one more line, she's talking about him, and that's it. She doesn't
Wait.
do anything else.
Wait, no, you ad-libbed her. Wow, she did just drop out of the story.
She just dropped out of the story.
Yes.
I understand that there are way too many characters to work with here, but I also don't like how Toko drops out of the story, too.
Yeah. I mean, I'd agree with that one.
Like, Hina is barely in this, she doesn't do anything.
I guess she never does anything anyway.
I understand that there are way too many characters to work with, but, like,
Yeah.
they're not very evenly distributed.
I do appreciate Sakura doing a whole lot. I do appreciate, Mondo getting his time to shine.
Those two things are strengths for the story, definitely. It's just too fucking short. This is too short. This shouldn't have stopped here.
I'm trying to think characters who didn't really do anything at all. If you
Leon
told...
didn't do anything until directly the end.
Yeah. Okay, no. I think the biggest loser prize is gonna go to Hifumi, who absolutely did nothing and like barely even had any lines. I think
Yeah, no, he only had about 4 or 5 lines. I think Celeste had even less lines. I think she only talked maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, but she at least like when she did speak, she'd said stuff. Like all Hifumi was reduced to was just reacting to some things. So I think by far Hifumi was the most useless character in this whole story.
Yes.
Which is kind of sad because I do
Does
appreciate this
this make
character.
Mukuro look like a Mary Sue?
I can okay, here's the thing. I can see why people would think so. Though to be honest, knowing the way that this world like the way like the ultimates work, in that you're kind of already doomed to be like a Marisu of your specific like type or occupation.
I don't think she's a Mary Sue in and of the fact that she is super powerful, because that's literally her fucking ability, like, no doubt. But I'm more so talking like her relationship with Makoto and how they're basic, like they are just canon now and all that dumb shit. And Sayaka and
Leon
Kyoko
are a
are
thing.
just like Sayaka and Leon, like they had a ship tease, and Kyoko doesn't do anything. And I don't know, I can kind of see that side of it, like, oh, Makoto and her totally
Kyoko ends up with Chihiro in this version. Maybe,
Yes.
I don't know.
I feel like the writing, I don't know if it's the the writing or the translation, because I feel like in Japanese you can say things with different words much easily than in English.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't like the way that a lot of the descriptions were repeated multiple times. A lot of the writing just wasn't that great, but I will blame that on the translation.
Yes. I will,
There are lots of typos in this, but that's also translation.
I will, not want to hear anything be described as stoic or disappointing anytime soon. Because that was mentioned quite a bit.
I actually don't mind the disappointing thing, because Junko is very, that was Junko doing that, and she's very,
No, okay, no, there it is, but even in the,
insistence like that.
even in the narrator dialogue, it came back, like, just like a tiny bit too much. Like, it wasn't a big thing, but, like, with, like, one or two less, I could have done with.
Stoic thing bothered me more, because that was genuinely the author doing that.
Yeah, no. But, overall, I thought it was fine. I would have liked to see other things, but, I guess, for what it is, there's certainly not much wrong with it. I just... part of me kind of wonders who asked for this, but... I mean, I guess if you have,
Someone really liked Junko's supports, which I love her supports too, but, like, what is this?
Yeah, like... See, that's the thing, like, I don't know if, like... I feel like this is, like...
I think the AU where Mukuro had her memories wiped is a much more fascinating story, and if we reach this conclusion through that AU would have been much more satisfying.
Yeah, like, I honestly think that, like... I was gonna say something, but then my cell phone started to ring. I have completely lost my train of thought.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, no, I'm blanking. No. But... Interjection! Overall, it's fine for what it is. I would have liked it to be a lot of other things.
Yeah.
But for what it was fine.
It wasn't offensive. It didn't piss me off.
No, I can't say, like...
This just feels like a really mediocre and half-thought-out fanfiction, which is basically what it is.
Yeah, but for what it was fine. I
Like,
certainly...
they didn't get any of the characters wrong or anything.
No.
I mean, arguably with Muguro, but, like, they tried to stick with as much of her canon personality as we see.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that she's kind of, like... She doesn't get much to work with in the original game, which is kind of the problem.
Yeah.
So, for what they had to work with, they did fine, but, any last thoughts before we end off?
I'm not... it was fine. It was okay.
Okay.
I wanted it to be like 8 different other things, but it wasn't. So, but for what it is, it's not offensive. It's not terrible.
So overall, Randy's gonna be 7.8 out of 10. Too much describing somebody as being stoic.
Yeah.
That's gonna be it.
I will now never describe any of my characters as being stoic ever again.
Lol.
And I have a
Anyways,
lot of them.
yes, but regardless, thank you guys all for watching, and we'll see you guys all next time for the other novel.
Bye bye.
Goodbye. Despair. Despair.